Choosing a niche is very important. It's like a bullseye, like you know where you're headed.
Give me advice personally.
Your target audience is the normal mwananchi.
Normal mwananchi.
Work on your visual outlook.
Maybe you could give us a little bit of why you got into branding.
I fell into that field. I was not pro employment.
Not many people understand what branding is.
The best way to look at it is how you shape other people's perception of you as a brand or your business as a brand.
Why should someone care about branding?
Just see it as positioning. How am I perceived by other people?
But other people do not see me the same way. So welcome back to the podcast. In this episode, we are going to talk about branding and why this is important for real estate agents. This podcast is very important whether you are a full-time real estate agent or even if you are a part-time real estate agent. We are going to dive deep into branding, talking about what it is, where you need to start, and why it's important for your business so that you're able to attract the right client for your business and that you are able to generate more sales and build yourself up as a brand. Today, we are very lucky. We are joined by Penina on the podcast. She's a branding professional who has been helping tens of other businesses just like yourself to be able to build their brand and stand out in a way that allows them to attract clients. So, welcome to the podcast, Penina.
Thank
Now, just to get started, tell us a little bit about yourself.
you. So thank you for having me here. I am Penina Nganga and I am a branding expert, so to say. Let's say brand visibility and positioning strategist. And yeah,
Good to hear that. Now, Penina, for those who are just getting to know you, maybe you could give us a little bit of why you got into branding and how it has been for you.
so initially,
Mhm,
a bit of a backstory. I
mhm,
studied procurement in university,
mhm.
but I did not practice. So I was not pro employment. So I got into content marketing, that is writing blog posts for companies. And in the middle of that stint, trying to build that business, I started now realizing that I need to brand myself better and I need to have a website that will appeal to my clients. So that's when I started. And in the midst of building my brand as a content marketer and building the website as a content marketer as well, I fell into that field. Now I realized that I do like the branding aspect and the website design. So that's how I got started. And yeah, I've been doing it till now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this branding, not many people understand what branding is because you find people just want to do their thing in the only way they know how without just putting a lot of thought into it. What would you say for someone who is new? What is branding? And then why should someone care about branding?
Branding is the best way to look at it is how you position yourself and how you shape other people's perception of you as a brand or your business as a brand. So you don't need to have a lot of terminologies to define branding. Just see it as positioning. How am I perceived by other people? So, as Penina Nganga, if I want to be perceived as someone who is either professional, outgoing, laid back, or any other thing that clearly defines who you are or shows authentically the kind of person you are or the kind of business you're trying to build, that is how you'll position yourself. If I want to be a professional, I'll dress professionally. My brand will be professional. The colors I will use will be professional. My style, my graphics, everything will be professional. If I want to be laid back and have jokes in my brand, that is exactly how I'll brand myself. So I will just wear casually. Yeah, all that.
Okay. For a real estate agent,
Mhm.
and let's say I've been in the real estate business for 5 years, and I want to do an audit of how people perceive my brand. Like, where would I essentially start? I want to do an audit of myself, who I am, and what I want to present myself. Like, where should I start?
Okay, so I think the first thing you need to do as a real estate agent is to first understand who you are as a person, like individually, before you even go out to what people think about you. First, know who you are. So you need to do a bit of research. So you need to figure out your values, your mission, your vision, who you are, like what do you stand for. And then you now go to, you have worked with a few clients so far, I believe. So if you have, go back to those clients and get to know. If it's a survey you're going to do or send them a questionnaire, they will help you understand how you're coming across. And then you can check, like, from these questionnaires I have given my clients, this and this is what they're saying. And then there's this, what I want to be known for. Are they matching or they are a bit different? Now that's when you'll know if you're on the right track of where you want to be going or not. Because if you're not, then you can now intentionally start curating your brand to fit what you came up with in your research.
You raise a very good point, because sometimes who we think we are is very different from who other people perceive us.
Mhm.
Because I could be thinking maybe I'm very friendly, I'm very professional, but other people do not see me the same way. So I think you raise a very good point around even getting feedback from other people as you're doing that self audit. Now, for someone, you find most real estate agents either they are working solo or they are working within a bigger, like a bigger company. How important is it to either maintain themselves as a brand or also have another brand for a company? Like for us, let's say there is me as Simon and there is Tulia Real Estate. How important it is to maintain two brands?
So maintaining two brands is important, but what I would advise people to consider is if they have the bandwidth to do that. So if you're a real estate agent, let's say you are trying to build your own company, and if you're working solo, you'll not have the bandwidth to do a business brand, and then you also work on your personal brand. So for someone like that, I would advise them to focus on their personal brand, because that is what is going to fuel their business. So the first thing is to focus on your personal brand. Let people know who you are. Let people connect with you. Let people understand what you're trying to sell them, what you're trying to show them. And then you can, on the side, if you have now the bandwidth to do that, or maybe outsource, you can be building the business brand. But the personal brand will be used to fuel the business brand.
Now, when I start on this branding process,
Mhm.
what do I put out there for now people to start understanding who I am as a brand? Is it, do I start creating videos? Where do I actually start and what do I put out there?
So when it comes to branding, uh, I at this point I believe you have already done your research. You know the person you are, what you're doing, what you want people to perceive you as. If you have already done that, now you get into what I like to call the attract phase. So in this phase, you're working on your messaging. Like now, let's say it was something laid back. Your messaging is going to be different from someone who is professional. So make sure that first you have done your research and you know where you're going. And then after you have worked on your messaging, then we can go into your visuals. Maybe you want to have a logo, maybe you want to have a website. Those are important things as a real estate agent, especially if you want to show other people that they can trust you. Because most times, what a website will indicate is that this is actually someone I can trust. They have an online presence. Yeah. So, yeah, you go into your visuals And then you can go into your maybe videos if you want to be on social media. Yeah, you can do videos, or you can be on LinkedIn and just do text posts and maybe a photo. Yes, just make sure whatever you're doing is aligning with what you determined on the research phase.
Okay. And let's say someone wants to have both. You want to have a personal brand,
Mhm.
and you also want the company to have its own identity.
Mhm.
Like from your end, you want to be seen as someone who is casual, more laid back, more friendly, but then you want the company to also take like maybe a serious or more professional outlook. If we are to look at those, is it, does one go contrary to the other, or both need to have some sort of mesh up? Like you are not this different person and then the company is on the other side. Do they need to mesh together, or do they, or is it possible for them to be completely like opposite?
It is possible for them to be completely opposite, especially if you're working with a team. Now, if you're doing it solo, and okay, if today, as Simon, you
Mhm.
are a real estate agent and you have a personal brand and you have the company, and then I have interacted with you as your personal brand. So what I see as your personal brand, that's what I expect to come and interact with. If you have been joking with me, that is exactly what I expect. I don't expect something different. So as a company brand as well, if you have been serious, like straight to the point, that is exactly the persona you're going to take on. So it depends if you're willing to, you can do both. Yeah.
Okay. Which brings me to this point, because I'm thinking if I want to project myself as someone maybe who deals in luxury properties, people will automatically assume my company is also working with luxury properties as well. But I
Yeah.
can't show myself I'm dealing with luxury properties, then my company is doing something different,
Mhm.
which makes me want to check with you, how important is it for someone to actually hone down and choose a niche? How important is it for someone to either be general, like you can be able to buy properties, sell properties, deal with different kind of clients, or narrow down on the kind of person they want to serve?
Choosing a niche is very important because one, it gives you, um, it's like a bullseye, like you know where you're headed, like you know what you're targeting. Now, without a niche, you'll just be speaking broadly to everyone. And most times you find that in marketing, we are told to speak to one person and not many people. Because if you're speaking to many people, you're speaking to no one. But if you're speaking to one person, you're speaking to someone who is actually going to um, patronize your business. So, what people need to do is make sure that they have a good idea of the niche they're getting into. So for real estate, let's say you're building, like you're selling beach houses. So if your focus is beach houses, you will automatically be appealing to people who want to buy a beach house. And it is going to be very easy to convince that person that they can get this beach house. If, on the other hand, you're selling a beach house and then you're trying to sell to someone who just wants property around Nairobi, that is going to be very difficult because you cannot convince someone who is looking for something different to come and buy a beach house. So having that niche is important.
I like the analogy that you used around someone. You have a client who wants to buy a beach house and another one who wants a different property. And this raises the point, let's say I'm a real estate agent and I'm thinking of how to create a unique value proposition. Like I want to be very specific on the value that I bring to a client. How should I go about thinking through my unique value proposition when trying to brand myself?
Your unique value proposition should basically be a one liner that can sell your brand or your services. So at this point, you have already identified your target audience, you have your niche. So your unique value proposition could be something like, I am Penina, and I help people who want to buy houses on a budget get the right houses for them. So that it will immediately appeal to that person who is looking for a house on a budget. If you're doing something different, let's say you're dealing with luxury apartments, you're going to say, I help people who are looking for luxury apartments get the best deals in town. Like, just something short that is going straight to the point. It appeals to that target market. You have to make sure that you're going into the target market, you're mentioning them, and then you're showing them how you're going to help them.
Okay. Let's say, let's pick someone who has decided to either deal with the luxury market. When you are thinking about either having a logo or your brand colors, is there a way to link your logo with like the kind of services you provide, or it's any logo should be fine?
So when it comes to your logo, your colors, and everything visual that you're going to do, you want it to align with the industry that you're in. So if you're dealing with luxury houses, I don't expect to see um, you having a logo that maybe has a pen or a cup. Like, I need to see either a really nice house or your name architecturally done, or something, just something very different, something that looks luxurious, because you're dealing with luxury apartments. You need to consider the kind of market that you're dealing with, because if that client is looking for a luxury apartment, they are clearly of a certain class, and they want to deal with people of a certain class. So you need to position yourself as someone of that class. You can do that through your visuals, even how you dress, and you will appeal to that client. Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's stick to the same real estate agent who is selling luxury properties. How can I maintain myself on social media? Like, how should my social media profiles be to show that either I deal with luxury properties, or how should I design my website to maintain that outlook that I deal with high end or luxurious properties?
For luxury apartments, especially when it comes to social media, you can first work on your visual outlook. So the way you dress, you need to portray that luxury in some way. Either it is in your just being clean, having a clean look, or you wearing suits. You just need to be in a, like, you have to portray that luxury in some way. And then the kind of houses that you will show on your social media platforms, they need to also be of a certain class. Like, that luxury apartment is what you're going to be showing, not just any apartment that comes up. You're going to confuse your target audience. When it comes to your website, first you want to make sure that the colors you're choosing are clean, they are not shouting, because for most luxury clients, they will not want that loud color. They will want something easy, something soft, something mild, maybe a blue or a white, just something that is going to be relaxing in some way, that clearly indicates luxury, maybe a nice gold, yeah, or a purple. Yes.
Give me advice personally. Let's say I'm trying to deal with just the normal person, and I've been thinking of having my colors as blue, and I was thinking blue because it's calm, and I also wanted to do black and white, like three colors: blue, black, and white, and maybe shades of the same. Would those colors be resonating with what I'm aiming to do?
Your target audience is the normal mwananchi.
Normal mwananchi.
Okay, so the blue would work really well for the black, unless the black you're using it as text. I don't believe using black is a wise thing. You can stick to the blue and the white, but the black, not really.
The reason I'm saying black It's because I'm actually even still wearing
Mhm,
black right
mhm.
now, and I've been consistent shooting all my videos black, which I was thinking would be a color I would adopt. Maybe the website and the other items. I think black creates a very good contrast with white and then blue. So that was my thinking, and I hope it works. Now, one thing I've been thinking, real estate market in Kenya, I think one of the biggest problem we have is around creating trust. For someone who wants to brand themselves as someone who is trustworthy in the market, what are some of the things you would advise them to start doing so that they come out as trustworthy?
Okay, so to come out as trustworthy as a brand, you need to make sure that you're consistent across all platforms. Today, if you're on TikTok, you're not on TikTok just dancing, and then you go to Instagram, you're serious, you're selling houses. That is going to leave someone very shaky about what you're doing. So, as a brand, if you're using your brand name, let's say Penina Nganga,
Mhm.
across platforms, it should communicate something specific. So, that is the best way to build trust. And also, if as a real estate agent, you want to build trust with people who don't know you, who are not on social media, they just came across your name maybe somewhere and they want to Google search you, you need a website, a clean website that clearly communicates what you do and the kind of people you help. So, like, that will be the best way to communicate to that client who does not know you and build trust with them. The other thing is the kind of content that you're creating. It needs to be helpful, it needs to be informative. Um, when people land on your maybe your blog or your social media, they need to come out there maybe like having learned something. Let's say, yes, you're a real estate agent. Help me understand what is the market like right now. Where are the best places for me to consider getting um, good houses? What is the budget like? Yeah, consider such things.
Now, Penina, tell us more about the kind of work you've been working on with other real estate agents.
So, with real estate agents, the first thing I have been doing is helping them understand where they are and the kind of brand they want to build. So, this is the research phase. You find that most people get so caught up in that phase, they are not sure what they want, the kind of people they are trying to serve. They don't understand the niche they are in. So that is something that I have been helping real estate agents do. And I have also been helping them with the attract phase. So that is where we build your logos, work on your messaging, work on your website, and also guide you on your social media. We don't actually do the content, but we will guide you on the kind of content that you will be doing and the strategy that is actually going to yield results. Yeah.
If someone wants to reach out to you, how can they find you?
So they can reach out to me through my business number, and that is 0705 667 508. They can either find me on call or on WhatsApp. The other way you can find me is through my website, that is digitallysavvyke.com. Yeah,
Thank you so much for having us. It's been a very enlightening conversation. I've learned a lot from you, Penina, today.
thank you for having me.
That's it for today. I hope today's podcast has been really useful for you. Make sure you stay subscribed so that you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes.